One of the greatest gifts you can give someone else, but also yourself, I believe, is forgiveness. Joining us today to talk more about forgiveness would be Ashley Ray and Molly. To both of you, welcome back to the show. It's always great to have you here.
Thank you.
Thank
it's great
you.
to be here.
So, forgiveness, big topic. Where would you like to start?
Yeah, so I think we'll talk about understanding forgiveness, the benefits of forgiveness, and then the steps to take to forgive. So I'm going to start with understanding forgiveness. So, you know, it is one of those things where forgiveness, or the lack thereof, definitely hinders our growth and our development and keeps us from being our best selves, right? First, it's understanding, though, what is forgiveness. And so when we talk about forgiveness with clients, we talk about three different areas: forgiveness of ourselves, forgiveness of others, and then being forgiven, because that's a big part of it too. So for today's example, we're going to talk about forgiveness of others. So understanding that forgiveness is that voluntary choice to let go of negative feelings, right? I mean, it's a choice and it's a voluntary one to let go of those negative feelings that I maybe have towards somebody who has offended me in some way. And in some cases, replacing them with neutral or even positive feelings, but understanding also what forgiveness is not. And forgiveness doesn't mean that just because I forgive you, doesn't mean that I'm condoning or excusing what happened, doesn't mean that I'm pretending it didn't happen or that I'm going to allow it to continue to happen again. It is just more about my well-being than it is about yours, because it's getting rid of all that yuck that I feel and putting it out there.
So amazing. I think that clarity is so important, but so often you see instances where someone is holding on to something, the other person is like, I don't even know what you're talking about, and you're wasting parts of your life because you're holding on to this person doesn't even realize.
Yeah, it's not affecting them in any way, shape, or form.
So why do we do that to ourselves?
You know, I think so many times we look for, and this is a whole, we could talk about this for an hour, right? But we want somebody to acknowledge what they've done to us. We want an apology, and that doesn't always happen. And so sometimes we sit and we hold on to that and we fester on it and think about it all the time instead of just letting it go.
That's what I'm saying. We let that person doesn't even realize what's going on rob so much of our own happiness, and it's like you said.
And that would come in like the steps of figuring out how to get rid of that, right? And acknowledging, maybe talking to that person, opening up that line of communication so that they do understand what. Because sometimes we are oblivious to we don't know what we've done, right?
Correct. Your take on forgiveness?
Yeah, the benefits of them, because there are so many known benefits, and just to touch on a few, you know, the health benefits, whether it's lowering your blood pressure or guarding against that stress and anxiety, you know, those things are holding on to that ick that she talks about can really affect us in our health. Also the emotional and psychological aspects of it, where if we can just kind of move past those and let go of the negativity, it allows us to take that step forward.
So let me ask you this. Sometimes there's some victims of very horrible things.
Yes.
They're never going to see that perpetrator again.
Right.
So for those people that are maybe at home going, I can never forgive that person, what would you say to them?
And that's very common. And we always tell people we are not psychologists, we are not medical professionals, and there are situations, victims of abuse, right? Extreme abuse sometimes. Forgiveness might not be an option, and so it's finding other ways to cope and to move past those things. And so in those severe situations, we always recommend clients go talk to somebody that has training in those areas. We as coaches are here to kind of help you with those everyday areas of forgiveness.
I got 90 seconds left. Anything else you want to add before we move on to the last point?
You know, I just think the steps to take, right? And I really like to use this analogy of pretend that you are a plant, a flower in your garden, and that offense or those negative feelings that come with what happened is like the weed next to your plant, and you really need to pluck that weed to allow your plant, to allow you to grow and develop and to become your best self. We really need to get rid of that weed. So
Absolutely.
Want to add anything to that?
Well, I think that the forgiveness is such a difficult thing to do sometimes. And so really working on that and knowing what these steps are that can help us to move forward and leave all of that negativity in the past is just going to be so beneficial.
Identify what it is. No, it's not going to be easy. It's going to take time.
See, I think that's part of the mindset is why make it be hard when it's costing me so much of my life. If I can get enough leverage on myself, if I can forgive, I can grow then, right?
And again, it's all about your well-being.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's for your benefit, not the offender. It's for your benefit.
Absolutely.
So, yes.
Great combo. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
All right, stick around. We got much more coming up right after this.